Question 5a, part 2. Sample of metal silver has a relative atomic mass of 107.9 and it exists as two isotopes. In the sample, 54% of the silver atom are isotope with a relative atomic mass of 107.1. Calculate the relative mass of the other silver isotope. State why the isotopes of silver have identical chemical properties. And this is worth 4 marks. So this is asking about isotopes, it's asking about relative atomic mass, so the thing that we have to start with is an equation. And this is the sum of all of the masses multiplied by their relative abundances. We then divide by the total abundances. Okay, so what this is going to look like is we're given the value of 107.9. And we then now need to look at how many different isotopes there are, their relative masses and their relative abundances. And in this case we've got an isotope that's got a mass of 54 and we've got 107.1, sorry, apologies, we've got a relative atomic mass of 107.1 and that has an abundance of 54, and we're going to add that to something, x, times by the relative abundance of 100, because both of these have to add up to 100, and that's going to be a relative abundance of 46. Now you actually pick up a mark for this quick calculation here. You also pick up a mark for the whole of the top of this equation, and now we're going to divide by the total abundance, which is going to be 100, and we get a mark for this bottom part as well. Apologies, you don't get a mark for the bottom, you get a mark for the whole equation, okay, and that value there. So now what we need to do, using a bit of simple algebra, is to move this up here. So instead of divide by 100 we times by 100, we can move this down here, and what we end up with is 100 times by 107.9 divided by 107.1 times by 54 is going to be equal to x times by 46, which is also 46x. Now we're trying to find out what x is, so instead of 46 times by x, we divide both sides by 46. The whole of this will then be divided by 46, and we lose this. And then we can find out what x is, and the value of x, once you've calculated it, is 108.8, and you get 1 mark for that. Now it's 3 marks out of 4. The 4th mark, it asks to state why the isotopes of silver have identical chemical properties. Well, the reason for that is they have the same number of electrons, and it's electrons that gives chemistry. We don't need to know anything about the neutrons and protons in chemistry, we're only interested in the electrons.